Warning, this podcast, website, and associated social media accounts are intended for audiences of legal drinking age. We do not advocate overconsumption or the abuse of alcohol. Never drink and drive, drink responsibly. And please remember to always take what we say with a grain of salt. After all, we are just some dudes with some brews.
We started out by crawling out from under the thumb of the man. The lovers of God with dad bods just trying to feed our fam. Go sit right there and grab a beer, you know just what to do. Throw it back, get hammered, and listen to dudes and brews.
And that's why when I do an episode, I have a talking points in case there's a lull moment.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, let me throw something up and let's talk about something stupid and continue the conversation on to another subject.
Well, more than half the time.
Obviously, it didn't have to happen here. This conversation has been going.
Oh God, sorry.
Jeez, bless you.
Do you have a button for that?
I don't. I'm not that professional. Come on now.
I know. I wish I had a big red button, like a sneeze button.
A sneeze button, and it's just random noise that covers up your sneeze.
Yeah, yeah, like another sneeze. It's just it's like a digital sneeze to cover up your real sneeze.
Well, now I'm putting in a digital sneeze over your sneeze,
and a bell. Excuse me.
That's right, folks. He's dying a little bit faster than you are.
Sorry, yeah, that's true. I'm ahead of schedule on you by about 7 years. What was I saying?
Ranting to yourself.
Stop distracting me.
You were able to
thank
rant to
you.
yourself?
More than half the time, I'm talking to no one. I am in a room by myself, talking to no one, and I'm just getting tired of it, man. It's becoming more and more difficult to just talk to myself. This is so easy and natural. I could talk to you for 3 more hours, and we could have the longest podcast ever. At some point, I would need to probably pee again and maybe get some sleep.
That's the age coming in.
Right. Dude, I'm at the point where I get up at least once a night now.
Oh no!
To go pee. Yes.
You're not even 40 yet, man.
I know. That's when it really hits you, when you're getting up at least once a night, every night to go pee. I'm just in there and I'm just like, oh fuck,
Do you at
It's
least have
happening.
an easy time going back to sleep?
No.
Oh no! It's even worse.
No, I don't.
It's compounded.
Yes. So this is my schedule. I have a few beers. At the end of the day, I maybe get an hour or 2 of television, maybe before I pass out in my recliner, and I wake up from being passed out, and then I'm 3 episodes past whatever I actually finished watching, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh fuck, and then I just turn the TV off and I stumble my ass into the bedroom, and maybe I brush my teeth, maybe I don't, depends on how tired I am. And then I just pass out, but I pass out hard for 3 hours, and then I wake up at 1:30, and I can't go back to sleep for 3 hours, and then I finally fall back asleep from maybe 4:30, and then I wake up at 6:30, and I've gotten 5 hours of sleep, 6 hours of sleep if I'm lucky. That's just this routine I've established.
I'm so sorry.
Not on purpose. It's just kind of happened that way,
and you don't dead scroll either. You just sit there with your eyes closed.
Yeah. With my thoughts, thinking about, how time works.
Get the hell out of here, man.
Yeah, that's when I do all my
I'm
weird
so sorry.
thinking.
I feel this is something I just do not understand or cannot fathom.
Oh, you will.
You don't know how many times I wake up in the middle of the night and probably go use the restroom and just don't remember I got up in the middle of the night because I was back asleep before my head hit the pillow.
Really?
If I wanted to go to sleep right now, all I got to do is close my eyes and I'm out.
I hate you.
I mean, I just don't understand. No joke. I say this jokingly, but also kind of serious when people say, hey, I have a hard time sleeping. I'm like, have you tried closing your eyes? Because that's all I have to do.
Yeah, I did for an hour.
See, and this is something that I just can't fathom because no joke, I just close my eyes and I'm out.
Yeah.
I can't, no joke, if I'm going to watch a movie and I really am intent on watching this movie or a TV show or whatever it is, don't lay down. I don't care if it's midday. Don't lay down. As soon as I lay down, I'm out.
Really?
10 minutes later, woof, I don't know what's going on.
Well, I used to be that way. But
oh, so you think it changed with age?
well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm at the age now where I get up in the middle of the night to pee, and my body thinks, oh, you've slept. It's time to get up and go to work now. And I have to say, no, body, that's not what's happening. And then we fight for about 4 hours. And then finally, my body's like, okay, fine, fuck, go back to sleep. Just in time for the alarm to go off. And I'm like, thanks a lot. I hate you. And then I get up, and I'm all groggy and foggy.
And you got to put on a nice, happy face because you're a teacher, right?
Right. And then I go to school, and the kids are like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, shut the fuck up. You're adopted.
So this
Nobody loves you.
This is the thing that as I get older, the more I've realized that, like, obviously teachers are just normal people, just like everybody else is. They have lives outside of
maybe
school.
even worse.
No, I'm just saying, like, because as a kid, you just
maybe
thought,
worse
like,
than normal people.
this teacher does absolutely nothing but worry about school and grade papers. It doesn't have a life outside of this classroom.
I know. They think we're like this robot that just like parks itself in the closet and comes back out again the next day. And it's like, dude, we've got our own families. We've got our own kids. I've got to go home. I've got to make dinner. I've got to do dishes. I've got to pack lunch for tomorrow.
See, I'm not even talking about
I have shit to do.
You have extracurricular activities that you want to do on your own.
That you don't have time to do, you know, because you're actually like, that's the thing, dude. There's so much stuff on the back end, that you have to do that is in addition to just like the teaching part. That's easy.
For sure.
But there's like a whole nother second job.
Oh, I'm sure.
That you can't do during the day because you're too busy doing the first job.
Yeah.
Which is teaching and putting out fires. So it's basically like two jobs in one. And then you have a family on top of that, and it's like, I mean, that's why you can't keep people, and you would have to pay teachers so much, but then that costs to keep them.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
But then they have to raise taxes, but Texas has a surplus, and maybe they'll give a raise, maybe they won't. They're talking about doing it, but they haven't done it. You know, I don't know. But then you only work, and they're like 9 months out of the year. Well, it's actually 10, actually. It's 10, not 9. And we work more in those 10 than you do in 12.
I'm sure.
I guarantee it.
Yeah.
We put in 15 months of work in 10.
Yeah.
And we get a little break over which we have to do continuing education, all this shit during something that we don't get paid for.
Yeah. You have to figure out curriculum for the next year and
yeah, I mean,
all kinds of bullshit.
Yeah.
So I have realized that that teachers are undervalued and underpaid. From what I understand, it's a little bit better here in Texas than it is in some states. I'm sure it's worse here in Texas than it is in some states as well. But they mold the minds of the next generation. They deserve not just a livable wage. They deserve a good living.
You know what
they
I
don't
think?
deserve $40,000 a year.
You know what I think the answer is? The difference between a first-year teacher, the salary, and a 10th-year teacher is only about $5,000.
That's awful.
Yeah. So think
You're
about,
not even making enough money per year to
Right.
equate for inflation.
So imagine you go to work and you work your ass off for 10 years. I mean, and you're good. Like, you are a fucking pro.
I'm like in 10 years, because I've been for a little more than 10 years at my company. Bleep that out, Joe. I've been at my company for more than 10 years, and I'm double the salary that I was whenever I got started.
Yeah, okay. So now imagine that you were only making about $5,000 more than you were 10 years ago.
Yeah, it sounds awful.
Okay. That's how teachers are.
Yeah.
And so there's no like incentive to stay. You know, a teacher for 20 years is only making about $10,000 more than someone fresh out of college.
Right.
And so, because the average pay increase from one year to the next is about $500, which is nothing.
Right.
And so I think that, you know, a big thing that would help with that is have, you know, starting teachers come in lower than they are now. What they keep doing is they keep raising the starting teacher salaries. Well, but what they do, they don't raise everybody else's. So you have the salary compression.
This is what I've seen even in corporate America, which is what I work in, is the starting salary continues to raise. The starting salary that I made in 2012 when I got hired is completely different than what it is now.
Mm-hmm.
And I I think it should be because of inflation, but yeah, it seems easier just to quit your job and go start something new than keep your tenure. Tenure means nothing nowadays.
Well, and there is no tenure in public school.
It used to mean something.
Like in universities, there's,
right.
But not what I'm doing,
Right. And people will say, well, then why don't you just go the private route?
It's less.
You think that
you make about
anybody
half of
else's-
what you make in public?
Oh, really?
Oh my God, you didn't know?
No, I just assumed because they're private, they are able to
No.
pay their teachers whatever the hell they want. They don't have to
No.
rely on the government to give them
Oh
money.
my God, private school
pay whatever the hell they
teachers
want.
make about half of what public school teachers make.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not joking.
I would have never guessed. I mean, because honestly, they wanted to pay their teachers, they just raised tuition.
But the trade-off is that, you show up, you teach your classes, you go home. It's like you teach 3 or 4 classes, you go home. Like
Right.
it may take 3 or 4 hours a day as opposed to 10. And you don't have all this extra regulations.
You
So
don't have to
like
be
a
there
lot
all
of
day.
private school teachers have a second job. Like that's not their full time. That's not their day job. Like
Really?
they have a full-time or at least a second part-time job. And then they also teach on the side. It's like university professors. They don't make shit. I make more than a university professor
Really?
at a public high school. Yeah, because most professors, they are adjunct, they are interns, they are new, they're young, and they don't have the experience, and they get paid very little, and they have like day jobs, and they might get paid to do research. So like,
But they're working a fuck ton of hours.
right. So maybe they get a second additional stipend on top of their teaching salary to teach their classes in order, to compensate them for all their research hours. But it's all government funded still, but it's like you have to do research and you have to get a government grant in order to pay for your salary to do research for a specific topic.
Right.
That's why so much research is done in universities, because it's cheap. Most college professors don't make much money. You don't really start to make a lot of money until you get tenure when you're in a university, and then you actually start making like 6 figures. But until then, you're basically making shit.
Yeah.
And
That sucks.
And I feel like, and I'm not saying that needs to be the case with public school teachers. I just think the starting salary doesn't need to be increased. The starting salary is good for most places. Like the place I'm teaching at, the starting salary next year is $57,000 a year, which is not bad.
Yeah.
But if you're a teacher with 10 years of experience, guess how much you're making?
67.
59.
59.
59.5.
Oh, yeah. You said with 10 years. Yeah, with 20, I guess you're up to
Well, no, there is
60.
no such thing as tenure in that.
Right.
That's only a university thing. So what I'm saying is that like that's the way to increase teacher retention is I think you need to start low and have people who really want to teach, not for the money, but just because they want to teach. The only people who are going to take that job for a low salary are people that really want to teach.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's what it seems like right now. The
trade-off-
people that are staying are the people that really want to teach.
Right, but the trade-off needs to be, okay, you're going to start low, but the next year, you're going to get a $2,500 raise.
Yeah.
The year after that, you're going to get a $4,000 raise.
Right.
The year after that, you're going to get a $5,000 raise. And then they need to keep it to where, like, every year that you stay in, your raise gets bigger and bigger. And so you can actually start to make real money the more you stay in. That would give people more incentive to stay, as opposed to coming in, teaching for a few years, and then going on to something else.
Right. Which is what I've seen with teachers in the school that my kids go to. They're there for 2 or 3 years, and then they're on to something new. And I'm not even saying teaching; they're just on to something new. Which is unfortunate for sure. Like, it sucks that teachers just don't get paid enough. And if you're a coach on top of that, oh my gosh, how do you have life for your families?
Well, like I said, it's not necessarily that they don't get paid enough. Like, it's just the fact
They
that
don't get paid enough for what they do. That's the thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, I agree that it needs to be
Somebody that makes
a little
$100
bit
grand sitting on their
more.
ass, like just trading stocks, doesn't make any sense. Why these guys that are molding the minds of the next generation, which granted, I can be critical on what they're molding
Some of
their
them
minds
molding
with,
in the wrong way, right?
Yeah. I mean, not even just that, just as in like typical stuff that I think should be taught in public schools, like how to do your taxes.
Yeah, dude. Like
you should learn how to do that before you turn 18 because you're gonna have to pay taxes when you turn 18.
Yeah. Well, I had this idea for high school, and of course, but I haven't ran this by anybody or anything. This is just thoughts I have in my own head.
Yeah.
Where high school should be structured completely different because college ain't for everybody. Right now, 100% of the high school curriculum is designed to be college prep. There is a little bit. It's a growing amount of tech courses and
in the bigger schools
bigger schools where you can learn a trade. You can even graduate with like a welder's certificate and you can start welding right away.
I've seen kids graduate with an associate's degree.
Yeah, well, yeah, but again, that's college prep. What I'm talking about is trades.
For sure.
I think that there needs to be a lot like college. Like your freshman and sophomore year, you take basics, just like you do in college, where you just take the basic fundamentals that everybody has to take. And then your junior and senior year, like once you graduate your sophomore year, you get to pick. Okay, do you want to go the college route or do you want to go the career route or the trade route? Mm-hmm. And then students, based on what they want to do when they get older, and they can always switch later. It's nothing like in concrete or anything, but they could pick, okay, I want to go the career route or the trade route, or I want to go the college route. And then if they go the college route, they go to the upper level academic classes, just like you do in college, like physics 2 and advanced physics and advanced chemistry and advanced bio and all that kind of stuff. And if you want to go the trade route, your last 2 years are just fucking being an apprentice, just doing trades, building shit, like with woodworking, welding, auto mechanic, like all that, and that's all you do.
So, as much as I agree, I can see that there being problems with this, because I mean, you're going into your junior year, you're friggin' 15, 16 years old. I mean, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I still don't know what the fuck I want to do with my life. I'm just to have a job that makes money. Like, do I enjoy it every day? Well, no. But it makes money and it puts food on the table, so I'm doing it. So kids, they're not going to know what the hell that they want to do with their life. What I understood, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I didn't go to college. I didn't step one foot inside of a college campus. I graduated high school and said, fuck it, I'm having fun doing what I'm doing. I'm just going to keep doing it. And then I had a kid and had to find a way to make money. So what I've understood that if you use college correctly, college is there to help you think outside of the box, help you cognitively think, and help you problem solve correctly. It doesn't. Yes, there are some classes that are there to help you for specific trades or specific careers, and that does come into your junior and senior year. Those first 2 years are more to help you broaden the way that you think and the way that you problem solve. Before that, you kind of have to get basics down. If you go to, like, say, I want to do wood shop, or I want to be an auto mechanic, and you do that in high school, are you missing out on some of that developmental, like mind learning? It sounds real stupid. Developmental psychology, I guess I should say. When instead you're just learning a trade versus learning how to like think outside the box. I don't know if that makes sense the way I'm explaining this.
It does. Yeah, and no, that's a valid point. I mean, because kids that are that young, you can't expect them to know what they want to do with the rest of their life. But
and again, I don't have any problem with you learning multiple things. Like, learn as much as you want to.
I just think that there needs to be a second option, because right now there is no option. It's hey, we're going to gear you to prep you for college, and that's it. And, there's a lot of kids that just tune out because they're like, they already know that they're not going to do that. There are so many kids that already know that college is not what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what the solution is for them. There are some that know for sure that that's what they're going to do. And there's a lot that know, but I would say that there's more that know that college is like, they don't go to college because they really want to. They go to college because they think that they have to.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So like, I feel like there just needs to be a second option, like a second route.
So I have a brother that lives in Nebraska. His brother-in-law went to school in Omaha. And they have this thing in, I want to say it's in Lincoln too, but where basically they apply to a school. It's a public school, but they apply to it, and it's almost like a trade school while they're in high school, where like this school specializes in robotics or something along those lines. And if you get accepted to this school, your curriculum is geared around this in particular, not subject, but like skill, geared around this in particular skill. I don't know if that's something, I've never heard of that here in the state of Texas. It sounds like something that they definitely could do and should have certain things where if you do know what you want to do and you want to go pursue that, you have the option. If you don't know, then just stay here and learn what you're calling college prep. I think college prep is good for a lot of people. But you're absolutely right. Like I heard a story once about a guy. He was like an outsider, and he drew a lot. And like some teacher came up to him and was like, "Hey, so what do you want to do? Like you just don't care about school. You fail everything." And he's like, "Oh well, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be a tattoo artist. Like that's what I want to do." He's like, "Well then, why are you even here? Like your art is good enough to be able to pursue this already. You just need to learn to do the tattoo part of it." Kid ends up dropping out of school, becoming a tattoo artist, and being like in the community, at least in the story that I read, he was a well-respected tattoo artist. Now, I'm not advocating for kids dropping out of high school, but that's just an example of somebody that school wasn't for them, and they were able to be successful and happy in the career the path that they wanted.
Well, right, and that's what I'm saying. So the whole point, I guess, that I'm saying is that we look at people like that who already know that this college prep driven high school environment is a complete waste of time for them.
Yeah.
That they know that that's not what they're going to do and they're going to do something else. Just having an option for them to go and pursue that second thing, whatever it may be, that the whole stigma of considering that as being dropping out needs to be removed, because when you say, "Oh, I dropped out of high school," it implies that, well, high school was the only option that you had and you dropped out and you quit and you gave up.
Right.
When really it's like, well, if I'm in a shitty job that is leading nowhere and I quit, I mean,
you don't look at it as the same stigma.
Correct.
No,
you don't
I
look
totally
at it
get that.
as a negative. You look at it as, I was in a bad thing.
Yeah.
That was not a direction I wanted to head in. And I moved on to this other thing that's over here that is more in line with my values and what I want to do. And that's all I'm saying, that there needs to be. It just needs to be more options out there. And we need to stop looking at these kids, because there's so many kids who are just, I mean, they're good kids, they're just fucking bored, and they have no desire to participate in this rat race that, honestly, do we enjoy? No. Like, we don't enjoy it either. Like, we're adults, right? And we're in the rat race, and we don't enjoy it at all, and we think it sucks too. But we're telling the next generation, hey, you got to join us in this rat race that we ourselves hate. And instead of being like, hey, go pursue this other thing that you're passionate about. You know what I mean? Like, just give them an option. They don't have to go do it. You're not putting a gun to their head.
And you're obviously a little bit more in the know than I am. It seems to me from the outside that there are more people taking what I would call risks. Like, for instance, like one thing that I would say, like people that go into the entertainment field. Well, there's a lot of risk involved because there's a high percentage of failure in that in particular field, be it stand-up comedy or acting or whatever it may be in the entertainment industry. But it seems to me that there's people are still taking that risk. It hasn't diminished. If anything, it seems like more people are willing to take that risk. Hey, cool, I'll live with 3 or 4 roommates in order to pursue my passion. And granted, that may just be in like what the environment that I see online versus what you see every day. I do agree that there probably is a high percentage of people that think, well, but I don't know what to do with my life. I guess I'll just go to college because that's what seems like the logical next step, even though I don't really want to.
Can you hold that thought?
Yeah.
I've got to pee again. I'm
Do
so
that.
old.
So this
We're
is
still going.
BWER. It's
B-double-E-R. What does that spell?
beer. The name is beer.
It's just called beer. I appreciate how it just says beer on the front.
That's the name.
Classic American lager.
So if you
I
do
can't
you
believe
like
you drank all that? That's
Coors
disgusting.
Banquet beer?
Oh, yeah.
This is their version of Coors Banquet.
Oh, does it taste like it?
It's one of the best craft beers I've ever had.
No shit.
No shit.
Oh shit. Okay.
This is one of the breweries that I went to in Arkansas.
Watch this pour.
This
Watch
is
this
one
pour.
of the few breweries that I've seen that are craft breweries
Tell me I can't pour a beer.
that they sell it by the 12-pack. Like you can't buy a 6-pack of it, you just buy it by the 12-pack
Yeah.
because it's that damn good. Like when we were up there, we bought two cases of it.
So they don't give you a choice. They say you're gonna drink 12 of these.
Well, because they just know that like nobody wants just 6 of these. Like
Right. 6-packs are the weirdest thing. I mean, it's like who
Yeah.
only drinks. Oh, that's true. But then that's shitty beer that you don't like. I guess if you just want a sample, but if you want a sample, you can buy a single.
yeah, but like this Sam Adams, I think it came in a 4-pack
Sam Smith.
or Sam Smith. Yeah, thank you for the correction. It came in like a 4-pack, and I'm like, I think that's fine.
What is?
I like variety.
What is that song by Sam Smith?
Fuck, I don't who.
No,
who
that's
is
a
Sam
singer.
Smith?
It's the gay guy. He's a singer.
Didn't he do a song with the guy with the mullet?
Who the fuck is that? The guy with the mullet? That doesn't really.
What?
What?
His didn't he do a song with Billy Ray Cyrus?
Oh, no. This is a new guy.
Oh, am I thinking of the wrong gay guy?
Yeah. Oh, hold on. What gay guy are you thinking about? Talking about with Billy Ray Cyrus?
Didn't he do a song about horses, like riding horses or something?
Now I'm super confused. I don't know. You're going to have to Google this, dude. We're going to get to the bottom of this.
I don't listen to music.
Bing! Get to the bottom of it. Or the back of it, I guess, would be a more appropriate. Got to get to the back of it.
Oh, it's Old Town Road. Who is Little Nas?
Oh, Lil Nas X.
So
yeah,
the-
that's a...
So
Hold
it's
on.
the wrong gay guy?
He did Billy... I was about to say, he did Billy Ray Cyrus. He did. Maybe he did. He did a song with Billy Ray Cyrus. I didn't know Billy Ray Cyrus was in that song.
That's the only reason why I know
Take
this.
my horse to the Old Town Road. You know that song.
Oh, I have heard it. Yes,
Everyone's
I have.
heard that. You can't have not heard that.
Right.
It's everywhere, or it was.
You're not even on social media, and you've heard it.
Right, exactly. No.
So wrong gay guy, because I think the Lil Nas X is gay.
No, he is. Yeah. No, he's.
Sam Smith, never heard of him.
No, he sings that. Yeah, there. Okay. But there's this one song that he's
I don't listen.
most known for.
If it is a top 40, I don't listen to it. I listen
Oh,
to
stay with me. That's it. Stay with me. That's it.
I don't think I've ever heard it.
'Cause you're all I need.
No, I listen to a lot of Christian metal.
This ain't love.
Well, it's an
clear to
oxymoron, but-
see. Yeah, no, it's actually a good song. Oh man! Cheers, brother.
Dude, tell me that's not a good
Cheers.
beer.
That is good. God, how much was this for a 12-pack?
I don't remember. I was drunk. Well, I spent too much money on Ubers that weekend
Where'd you get it?
in Bentonville, Arkansas.
Bentonville, Arkansas. Was that recent?
Yeah, within the last I think
I
it's
thought
been
you went.
2
Okay,
weeks.
so I think I lied. I
So,
think,
no,
Well,
I've-
the episode I listened to, you went to a different festival.
Yeah,
like
so I
beer
went to a
fest-
festival in Fayetteville in
It was like in the winter. Yeah.
because
I
it was
remember.
Frost Fest.
Yes, that's what.
While I
yeah.
was there, I met a guy at this brewery, Bike Rack Brewing. He was the head brewer. His name is Brock. Shout out Brock. And he had this lager on tap, and this stood out amongst everything that was there. I got his email information, and I was like, dude, we need to come back here. There's so many breweries here. Like, we need to come back. There's some here in Fayetteville, some in Bentonville, which is 30 minutes away. We should just make a weekend out of it. That's what the trip for my birthday was.
Yeah.
I went and interviewed Brock, which will come out.
Thanks for the invite.
Should already
by the
be
way.
out by now. I didn't invite anybody, apparently. I've had so many people say, why didn't you tell me? I'm like, I didn't know you fucking wanted to go. Shit. Screw me. I'll post it on social media next time.
Which I won't see.
Which is funny because the people
That's funny that you said that.
People that said that don't do social media either. But you're not the only one. But while we were there, like, Brock, awesome person, very hospitable, gave us some beer, but also we bought a lot of it because, I mean, it was fucking good.
That's
So
really
this
good.
was just within the last couple of weeks.
How much did you buy? Just
we
1 12
bought
bag?
two cases.
2 cases? Oh,
Yeah.
Nice. So more than a 12 pack.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah.
two 12 packs, I guess you would say, which
4.
is funny because, well, yeah, for each person, because me and a buddy of mine went, they didn't
Well,
have
2 cases would be 4 12 packs.
right.
Yeah.
So we were getting them out of the fridge, and I'm like, hold on, you're not out of this, are you? This is our last day and our last stop. We made this the grand finale.
So
You better have more of this. And they went back to the back and went ahead and they didn't put it in the fancy box for us, but they went ahead and put them in 6 packs for us and gave us a case of it.
Oh, so this is like brewery fresh.
For sure. Yeah.
Oh my. So
Yeah,
you bought this from the brewery and they canned it right before they gave it to you.
Like, I mean, they may have had it in cans in the back in like a walk-in fridge or something, but they hadn't put it in the fridge for the customers because that was already, we bought all that.
Yeah. Huh. No, that's good. No, dude, like beer, when you go to the brewery and you get it like out of the tap at the brewery, my God.
It just tastes better.
It is phenomenally different.
I don't care where you get it. It tastes better on tap.
Well, everything, right.
But even
I
more
don't
so
get-
at the brewery.
Right. If I go to a restaurant and they're like, all we have is bottles, and I'm like, fuck you, bring me a water. I guess
oh,
I'm not
you-
getting buzzed tonight.
He goes, oh, you only have bottles? So that means you have Coors, Miller, Modelo.
Right.
Like,
All the basic bitch beer.
yes.
Yeah. No.
No, I would say basic bitch beer is like White Claw.
I'm like, what? Was it just too much work to have it? Like, you're a big, giant chain, right? Like Chewy's. Chewy's.
Okay. Really?
You know, the Mexican restaurant.
Yeah. You would think they would have some stuff on tap.
think. Only bottles.
So this is the thing. So I talked to a guy. There's a new establishment, a newer, I should say, establishment here in Denison called the Horse's Axe. It is you can do axe throwing. They have like pool tables, a bunch of other stuff. Really, their main thing is axe throwing, but they have beer. They have a good selection of beer. They only do it in bottles or cans. And I asked them, I said, why don't you guys do a tap? They gave me the lowdown on it, and it seemed like a big pain in the ass. It's like, well, we have to make sure that people keep taps clean. We got to make sure the beer gets sold properly. It's a lot more work than what we're willing to put into it when we could just give cans out. Our average customer does not care if it's in a can or on tap.
Well, the average customer is fucking retarded.
I agree.
And they
I'm the kind of person that wants variety and wants it all
need to
on
get
tap.
up on our level.
But
That's what I think.
as the average person, I'm sure I'm not the average beer buyer because I don't.
Do you agree? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe. Ring that bell.
Yeah, because what do they say? Subscriptions do nothing if you don't watch the episode, so you need the notifications.
Is that what it is? I don't know how the algorithm works.
So the way that I understand it is that, cool, you subscribe.
I just know if you say
Subscribers
that,
look cool to people that are wanting to support you as far as like from a brand perspective, because it looks like you have views, but you only need the views. Who cares how many people subscribe? It's really all about the views.
right.
And if you subscribe, that doesn't necessarily mean you get the notification to say they put out a new video.
Yeah.
So you need to turn on the notification so you know a new video came out so you can go watch it.
Well, but again, if you notify me, if I get a notification that you made a new video and
Yeah.
I still don't go watch it, does that make a difference? So
Not at all.
that to me falls in the same category of subscription. Like it should just be views based. It should have nothing to do.
It is all.
And like duration time, like how long did you watch it?
So from a monetary perspective, from like I said, like a brand
Let's just pay you
perspective,
by the minute.
they care about views.
How many minutes did people watch you? Total, period. That should just be like, isn't that like a very uniform, scalable metric to use?
Sure.
Like, if you have 1 million subscribers, but you got 10 minutes of viewership, how do they pay you? They should pay you based on the minutes watched, not subscribers or how many people are notified.
So the way it works from a brand perspective, I own a t-shirt company and I say, hey, Justin, I want to sponsor you. I want to know how much money I'm going to get back. So I go, cool. Average listener watches 10 minutes of your podcast. Cool. If we're going to do this, you need to put an ad within that first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, then they're not going to listen to me. So that's one thing. But I also need to know how many listeners do you have per episode. Mm-hmm. That's going to determine how much I want to pay you. Because what happens is you want to get it in front of as many eyes as possible. Because that's potential customers of going to the website. What some people do is they do it by you get a commission. Every time somebody clicks on the link in your bio, you get a percentage on that.
Yeah.
But in each month or
is that
each
true? Is that
year or whatever it is, we'll calculate how many times people click on it, and we'll decide if we want to continue with you or not. Nobody clicks on your link, so why would we stay with you?
Well, yeah, I mean, right, and that's the right of the sponsor to either continue giving you money to sponsor their content, to promote their content or not. But, but I'm saying, like, if I'm a company, I know that on this video, someone might only watch 5 minutes of this video, but they might watch 30 minutes of the next one. So if you average those two videos together, that's 17 and a half minutes of view time. And if you just, okay, how many ads ran in that amount of time, then you pay them based off that exposure. I mean, I feel like this is a very simple, basic math could do that. I mean,
it definitely can be. What I've understood in looking into it, there's two ways that you get paid for sponsorship. One is based on the amount of views, and one is the commission base that I was explaining just a moment ago. Where they go, hey, let's do some more research. Let's see how many times people actually go to our episodes or go to our website based on this episode. Versus let's just give you a blanket based on the views and just assume people are going to go to it regardless. Mm-hmm. You don't know how many... I listen to podcasts all day because I do it. I have it on in the background while I'm working.
I skip through the ads every time.
Every time.
every time.
Fucking time.
Yeah.
But guess what? I can tell you everything about AG1, Manscaped, friggin' ZipRecruiter. Yeah. I know all of these sponsors.
You listen to Rogan, don't you?
I do. I listen to Rogan, but that's the thing. I listen to a lot of comedy podcasts.
Right. Well, yeah, me too. I listen to Rogan, Dylan, and then...
Really?
I like Tim Dillon. I was listening to him on the way here.
He's one of my favorite guests. His actual show, I can't listen to him just rant.
Really?
If he's a guest on a show, I love it.
That's my favorite. I love when he just rants. Yeah.
It's him and his producer.
God, dude, he's so funny.
The stupid freaking palm tree in the background.
Well, right. I feel like that's what I need. I just need a warm body in the room. Maybe not even a warm body. A cold, dead body. Let's bring in that old lady that they thought was dead from Ecuador. Just put her over there. Just give me something to look at. And to feel like I'm talking to something. Maybe I'll just dress up a mannequin. I don't know. I'm kind of spitballing ideas. But yeah, he doesn't need feedback. The guy can just go. And I can kind of do the same thing to a point. I'm not, by the way, I am not equating myself to Tim Dillon. That's not what I'm doing right now. I am just saying that to a point, I can also just rant with no one around. But I am tired of doing that. He's been doing it for years. Well, I guess he's got his producer Ben to bounce things off of, and who just laughs. And if I just had someone to laugh, just every now and then,
positive encouragement with a laugh,
right,
with a chuckle,
right, just a random person in the corner to just kind of giggle every now and then, and I could just pay a little money to, depending on the
because
episode,
his show
like a percentage.
Is not super produced. It's one camera.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
It's low budget.
It doesn't have to be. Now, no disrespect to your setup. Yours is amazing. I've already told you that.
It's a pain in the ass.
I'm just saying, but I think that you would be just as well off. Just if you could. I don't know. The video is great. like your video quality and all that kind of stuff. And I love the fact that you're on YouTube, and that you get a lot of views that way. But it's just, it seems like there's gotta be an easier way to get the same end result other than you putting in so many hours. Like, you put in so much work.
So this is the thing. Okay, so I listen to a lot of.
I fear you're gonna get burned out. That's what I'm worried about.
So.
Do you ever worry about that?
Definitely.
Yeah.
There's a good reason, not because of the job that pays me money, why I take a break in the wintertime, but I'm ready for that break when I take it. But then when it comes back to the spring, I'm ready to get back in and do episodes again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get excited for it. So it's like that season break. I kind of enjoy it, but I get it's like wanting more after it's over. But I'll say this, that like, I listen to a tremendous amount of comedy podcasts. The majority of the stuff I listen to is comedy based, so I get the real inside baseball on how it works to be a comedian and how the grind works. And for a comic, and this is, I kind of equate this to podcasting as well, is that as a comic, you start out doing open mics for $0. And a lot of these guys that I listen to, like I listen to a podcast called Kill Tony.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Love it.
Well, I watch that on YouTube. I don't really listen to the podcast.
Well, no, I say same thing here. But Kill Tony, half those guys that come on there, they're either living in their car, they're living with 8 different people, and they get a closet to roll out their mat in because they're grinding. And they'll do that for however many years to keep growing. Now, granted, it does help weed out the guys that don't care as much.
And they don't have kids.
They don't. You're absolutely right.
And a
they don't
mortgage.
have additional responsibilities. What they do is they go, hey, I'm focused on this one thing, and that's comedy, and I'm going to do whatever I can to make this grow. If that means I'm living in my car or living in a closet with 8 other guys, who cares? I'm going to do whatever I can to make this work. It's what I said earlier about making priorities on things. They make it a priority. So there's a grind they have to go through in order to get following. They do all these open mics. Eventually, at some point, somebody goes, dude, you're pretty funny. How about you come with me and you'll MC for me? And you come out here and you'll just do a 5-minute set and you'll just introduce everybody. Cool. You keep doing that for an X amount of time and somebody goes, hey, dude, you're good enough to feature. I'll have you do 15 minutes at the beginning. And then you work up to middling where, hey, man, you can do 25 minutes or 30 minutes. And then you work up to headlining. It takes time. I'm in my 4th season of this podcast. I'm still new. In the comedy world, it takes, what I've heard is you're not really good until 15 years in. I don't want this podcast to take 15 years by any means, because by then I probably will be burned out if I'm not making money off of it. But I've said this from the beginning. I'm going to keep doing it until I stop having fun. Right now, I'm still having fun. It's these kinds of conversations that I go, this is why I do this. It's not because of the grind and all the hard work it takes to edit and get all that shit out or even post and promote the podcast. This is the reason why I continue to do it, because I still have fun with it every week when I sit down and I record an episode. So when this becomes hard to do or becomes unfun, as I would say, then I'll hang it up.
Well, and that's what I'm saying, is there a way where you can have as much fun as you're already having, but with just less of the stress? Because I feel like the fun is in the conversation.
For sure.
Not necessarily and I'm sure that, it's a hobby. You probably enjoy it to an extent.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's fun with the editing and all the video stuff. I mean, you clearly got the setup for it. But I just mean, like, and if you're not having fun, the people listening aren't going to have fun. And if you're so stressed out from spending all this time, doing all the editing and all that kind of stuff, I mean, and you're not having fun anymore, then what's it all for?
So this is the thing, is if you saw an episode every single week, you would see Joe that's a little bit stressed out. There's a reason why I don't put out episodes every week. I try to, but there's times throughout the summer where there's a couple of weeks where you'll hear him sporadic, maybe 2 a month or so-and-so, because I don't make this a priority. I have other things outside of this that are fun. Now, granted, if I was making money off this, I would probably be just as stressed out about this as I do about my daily job. Stressed out about daily work in general. This, I want it to be stress-free. So it goes, if I don't feel like doing it, who cares if I don't put it out on Monday? Not like I have the 100,000 listeners that are like, damn it, Joe, why didn't you put it out an episode on Monday?
Right.
If I did, I might have a little bit extra stress involved to go, hey, I need to put out an episode to please my viewers so I can keep this income coming.
I feel like it's about expectations as well. Like if you set yourself up to be like, hey, I put out an episode every single Tuesday at 7 p.m. Like that's a little too specific, like just do it whenever. The people, people.
I mean,
will still
if
follow
you watch the full episode, the ending says, watch out for new episodes every Monday. They don't come out every Monday.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, why add that extra? It's like a thing that
I'm a terrible procrastinator, so it does put a little bit of like responsibility on myself. Not even responsibility, I'd call it motivation.
Oh, so you kind of do it to force yourself
to motivate myself
in a way
to go ahead
force
and edit
yourself
it
to
and
do
put it out. But if I can't get it out by Monday, then cool, let's get it out by the next Monday.
Yeah.
And if I can't do that, let's do it by the next Monday.
Yeah, and I don't mean to imply that I somehow have this secret that I've mastered that you haven't, but I'm just saying what I do personally. I don't set any expectations. When I have time to do it, I do it. It may not be for a couple of weeks. Maybe I'll do 2 in a week. Maybe I won't do 1 for 3 weeks. I just do it whenever I can. I honestly don't see a huge difference in downloads.
I'm going to ask you a couple
of
questions here, okay? Bear with me 1 second. I'm going to pull up a video that I want to show you, and then I'm going to ask you some questions.
Okay.
Bear with me 1 second, because
is it going to be a adult video?
No, not at all.
Bring modern.
Okay.
Seinfeld.
So there's this guy. I forget his name is Joey Monaro, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. He's a stand-up comedian. He does a bunch of stuff, but one of the things that he has continued to do is a video series of modern Seinfeld. So first thing I'll ask is, were you a fan of Seinfeld?
Honestly, no, okay. So when Seinfeld was actually on and popular, I didn't really have cable.
Yeah,
I
mean, TV. I didn't watch it.
I didn't, but when I did see it, I thought it was hilarious. I just didn't get a chance to see it much. I didn't really start appreciating it until I was older.
Okay.
And now Curb Your Enthusiasm, which is made by Larry David, same guy. It's just like Seinfeld, basically. Like it's a situational comedy.
Yeah.
Hilarious. One of my favorite shows. And it's so I'm anticipating this is probably going to be a lot like that.
So I've watched every single episode that in Seinfeld multiple times.
Yes, yeah,
it's one of my favorite TV shows of all time. Curb Your, it's funny that you say
I've seen every Curb,
you didn't have cable. Growing up, I didn't either. I didn't have HBO. We would have cable, and they would show reruns on like TBS of Seinfeld, but I didn't have HBO, so I couldn't watch Curb. Now it's like I go to watch Curb, and I'm like, hey, it's funny, but I'd rather watch just Seinfeld. It's the same kind of comedy, but it's very similar, very dry, and like it's funny because there's an episode about Seinfeld where they go and they pitch a TV show to NBC, and they're like, yeah, let's make a TV show about nothing. And in the end, you end up going, fuck, I'm watching a TV show about nothing.
Yeah.
In the end, what you find out is that Seinfeld, when he pitched his show to NBC, it was, hey, let's do a day in the life of a stand-up comedian. But this guy does modern-day Seinfeld, where basically he goes, hey, let's bring up modern-day topics and let's discuss them. Like, for instance, like in an episode of Seinfeld, it was like, men have a hard time, like, jerking off. Like, we jerk off more than women do. Well, let's put a bet together to see if we can just not jerk off at all. And then the woman goes, well, I'm going to do it. And goes, well, if you're going to do it, you got to put in double the wager. Because you're a woman, and there's no way you're like you gotta. It's higher stakes for you. We do it more often.
Yeah,
it's real stupid.
Yeah,
or like waiting for a table at a Chinese restaurant. A whole episode about that. Like it's so stupid, but it's like you relate to it because you're like, oh yeah, fuck, I've done that.
Yeah.
So this one is called the binge.
Okay.
And I have some questions about the binge based on what you've been talking about.
Okay, see.
So we get to the end of the first episode. And get this, she turns it off. Really? Play next episode is right in front of her face, and before I know it, the screen is black. Did she at least say why? says she doesn't binge. No binge. No binge! Who hates the binge? Exactly! I love the binge. What does she think this is? 1998? The binge is like the first date, meeting the parents, and sleeping together all in the same night. Guess she must not have liked the first date. Hey, there he is. Do you binge? Depends. On what? On what I'm binging. Television. Oh. Jerry, half the fun of television is the anticipation. Waiting for next week's episode. Play next episode, play next episode, play next episode. Are you still watching? 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 If you binge, you got
So I guess
nothing to
it's
look
Kramer.
forward to.
Yeah.
I can live with that.
That's the Kramer. Okay. So the reason why I even bring this up is because you say that you don't put out episodes on a regular basis. One of the things that I enjoy about
Not intentionally.
TV
Just
in general is the anticipation for the next episode to come out. So I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, they put out episodes every Tuesday or whatever. I'm ready for Tuesday at 8 o'clock, and I'm ready for the next episode to come out. Tuesday comes, and you don't come out with an episode, guess what? I've forgotten about you, and I'm no longer listening to you.
I don't think so. I mean,
Granted, I'm just basing it on my personal experience.
Well, I respectfully disagree. I think, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's people that are like that. And in today's day and age, I don't think the requirements for that kind of structure are because everything is so fluid. Like you can get anything you want at any time. I don't necessarily think that it's that important for a person to be like, oh, it's Tuesday at 7. I'm going to sit down and listen to this podcast. You know, like I don't think it's...
Really?
I really don't. I think
because
it's like, hey, I'm going to wake up and I look at my phone. Oh, look, there's a new episode of this. Surprise. Let's listen to it on the way to work.
Really?
Now, again, I could be wrong. Maybe
No,
I'm wrong.
I just base it on my experience. So like, there's a podcast that I listen to that comes out every Thursday evening. I don't listen to it on Thursday evening. I listen to it when I go to work
So
on.
you like put it on your calendar like Thursday evening, like set a reminder?
Not at all. What I do is I come in Friday morning to work and I go, hey, they have uploaded a new episode. Let's go ahead and watch it. And if for some reason they didn't upload an episode, I go, oh, well, I hope everybody's okay.
Well, okay, now I would agree that probably is the case if it was like, if you're super spotty, like if you're like, you go 4 weeks without having an episode and then, you know, you go, and the next time it's just one way and you're that erratic and it's that big of a change, I feel like it's different.
Yeah.
But I feel like as long as you're within like a week or a few days.
Yeah. Which
I don't think it has to be
it's
strict,
different
man.
if you don't have your stuff on YouTube. I mean, obviously, if I subscribe to it and I set up the notifications, I'll be known. It'll tell me when the episodes are posted, regardless of if they're done every week or not. If they're done sporadically. Like, there's another podcast I listen to. So just going to shout these guys out. Not that I'm going to get any rub from them. It'd be nice if I did. But
You're going to get a rub from them?
yeah. So the Golden Hour is one that I listen to every Friday.
Yeah.
I just know that it comes out on Thursday evenings. I watch it on Friday mornings.
So, but these are still good?
Yep.
Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
You're okay. We've gone on for 2.5 hours. That's why. This is going to be multiple episodes.
Oh my gosh. Oh, is this going to be a 2-parter?
Oh, 100%.
Why not just a 1-parter?
Like,
Why not just like a giant 1-parter? Is it because of how much work it takes with the editing?
No.
Oh.
So, I will answer this question after I get all done with my rant.
Oh, sorry.
I said I'm not good at ranting, but yet I'm ranting.
Sorry.
There's a show that I like to watch called Are You Garbage? And I don't know when the fuck it comes out. I haven't figured it out. I just know that when I go on YouTube,
Whenever they feel like it.
it
apparently.
will tell me
Mm-hmm.
when an episode is available because it knows that I've been watching it.
Right. And that's what I feel like everything is now. Like if you subscribe to a podcast, it's going to show up when there's a new episode. It'll be at the top of your list and be like, hey, you need to listen to this.
Because
like,
it realizes that you've been watching it.
Yeah. Well, if you subscribe to it, then yeah, like on Spotify.
Like I don't subscribe to Are You Garbage or the Golden Hour, but I know every Friday
Well, yes.
it tells me that, hey,
Sorry.
based on the algorithm, this is what you enjoy.
Even if you don't, it's still a chance that it might notify you. But
Yeah.
I'm saying if you do subscribe to it, it definitely tells you. And even if you don't, it's still going to probably tell you.
Yeah.
So I don't
The
think it's
algorithm
that
works
big of a
pretty
deal.
well.
Yeah.
Okay. So why I split these up is because the attention span.
Mine or
usually
the cameras
Like
or
viewers.
yours?
Viewers.
Oh, no, I think they're good. Like, okay,
Typically, like, I mean, the average viewer.
yeah.
So I listened to a podcast once with, have you ever heard of a gentleman by the name of Mr. Beast?
Oh yeah.
Okay. He did a
Biggest
podcast
YouTuber in the world, right?
with a guy by the name of Andrew Santino. I'm lying to you. Andrew Schultz. He did a podcast with Andrew
I love
Schultz.
Schultz.
So
Hilarious.
they did a podcast together where Jimmy was his guest, and he basically gave a rundown.
Jimmy is Mr. Beast, right?
Correct.
That's his real name.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's
I
okay.
act like I know the guy. They did a rundown on what makes for a good video. And a lot of it was people have short attention spans. Cut videos off immediately. Don't make them too long. Make sure you're not saying inappropriate things because then it lessens your viewer audience. Like, he gave a bunch of like reasonable things as to why he why he has successful videos, I should say. And in this was length and how often people listened or watch them. So he's like, I only make a video this long because I've found that in my experience and in my research that people don't watch videos past this amount of time. And even if they do, you have to have certain triggers within the videos to keep them wanting more and wanting to watch it longer, because people have short attention spans nowadays. There's a reason why Reels, or I would even say TikTok, is very popular, because they're short, easy to digest videos. You can get through them really quickly. You can move on to the next thing.
Well, I think that we're talking about apples and oranges as well. I mean, what we're doing right here, right now.
It's a long form conversation.
This is not something you could break up into. I mean, you could go out and take tiny little clips, and you could make 1,000 little clips out of this one giant episode. You could do that.
Yeah.
That is one thing you could do. But I think that it's real easy to get lost in all the
weeds,
right? In all the minutia.
Yeah.
I think the key is to not overthink it.
Okay.
Really, I truly do, and I think you just, I think what people respond to is not necessarily length or anything like that. Unlike the ladies. Anyway, bing. I don't think that. I don't
making
think
it so obvious.
Right. Sorry. I just like the fact that I'm gonna do this and it's gonna happen. And it's gonna be like magic, like I'm a fucking wizard, like I'm making. I don't think people care about length of the show. I don't think they care about all these things that we think they care about. I think they care about, are the people who are talking, are they genuine? I think what is the word I'm looking for? Genuineness.
Like,
There's
authentic.
Authenticity. Thank you. God, you're just on a roll today with this vocab.
My mind's good
All
for
right.
some reason.
I'm just start calling you Webster with all your fucking words, you know.
All right.
So I think what people really care about is authenticity. Really, I mean, if this episode were an hour long, I think just as many people would listen to it as if it was 30 minutes long or 2.5 hours long. It's just like, you know, anything else. Like, we wouldn't still be talking if we didn't feel like talking.
Yeah.
And the people who are listening won't continue listening. They'll listen as long as they feel like listening.
Yeah.
There's no like hard line where there's like okay, I'll listen to it for 45 minutes, but past that I'm out. Like, there's no hard line. And if they'll listen to 45 minutes, and then maybe later on the drive home they'll listen to another 45 minutes.
It's
maybe
all about entertainment value. Even if it seems dull to one person, if another person finds entertainment in it or finds value in it, they're going to continue to listen. That's what it amounts to. Becomes dull, and then they're done.
Did you know that the last time we did a podcast, that the podcast that me and you did is my most downloaded podcast?
I wonder if...
And it's one of the longest ones.
I hope you got some rub. I hope my listeners said, let's go over here and listen to this guy.
Well...
Because, I mean, I did shout you out and put you in the description.
I guess they must have. I mean, that's why, like, you're to this day, you're still my most downloaded podcast.
Really?
Yeah, seriously. And it was one of the longest. I think it might have been the longest.
So this is the thing, is that I do truly feel that, like, more people should collab. More people should be on other people's podcasts, and you get two audiences discovering something new. So this is something that should become a more regular thing. Problem is finding people that do podcasts that are local.
Yeah, no, like, what are the chances that we ran into each other at my niece's birthday party because your daughter and my niece are friends?
Right.
I mean, like that would have never happened,
Right.
you know, in an alternate universe. So it's like, but I'm glad it did.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do this on a regular basis. I have no problem with you coming in. It's been fun. It's been a nice, enlightening conversation. We had some fun at the beginning. Got a little serious in the middle, and you know,
a little serious in the middle.
Not that we're still not having fun, but that side eye, my God, I swear.
Well,
So
plug me. Plug
so
me
you
again.
have to admit,
Yeah, that was a good beer.
Bike
do.
Rack does a good BWR, right?
I've never heard of Bike Rack, but
If you're in Bentonville.
very good. Yes.
So the question is do you ride bicycles?
Not since I was like 9.
Okay. So Bentonville's great to go visit. Bentonville's fun.
I'm not
to
against
go
it.
Visit, to go do just a brewery tour.
Yeah.
But they are like the mountain biking capital of the world.
No shit. You know what? I always thought if I was going to move anywhere outside of Texas, I have a short list. And this is true. I have a short list of places I'll move if I ever leave Texas.
What is that short list?
Well, number 1, it's a close 1 and 2. But
Okay.
number 1 is Knoxville, Tennessee.
Okay.
And a close second is Fayetteville.
Fayetteville. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Based on my experience,
Because I
would
love
go
mountains.
30 minutes north to Bentonville.
Really?
Yeah.
Better?
It's not. The beer's better. 1. 2. It's not a college town, so you deal with a
Yeah,
little
that's
bit
true.
less
Yeah.
of the college
20 years ago, I've
like
been into that.
shit. It's really interesting that you choose Knoxville. I don't have a problem with Tennessee at all.
It's just because of the proximity to the Appalachian Mountains and
Really?
yeah.
How
and-
close is Knoxville to Nashville?
Oh, it's like 3 hours.
Knoxville sounds like
3 to 4.
a great place to go then.
Yeah. It's
because you're still close enough.
Knoxville's like on the far east end of Tennessee, like way
Okay.
over there where it sticks out toward the
Yeah.
Atlantic. And you know, I'm sorry, not Memphis, but Nashville is like more toward the western end. So it's a good 3 to 4 hours,
That's not that bad.
I would imagine.
That's not that bad at all.
Yeah, it's getting a little.
Knoxville might be the way to go.
Dude, I'm telling you, yeah. Like, I mean, I'm a nerd, man. I had a whole spreadsheet. I was like comparing like state income tax to cost of living to crime rate to all these things. I had like everything ranked, and I had like a score. I'm not even fucking joking, dude. I'm such a dork. But anyway, yeah. I mean, so if I ever, I'm thinking about like once I build my house that I bought the land for. You know, I'm gonna build the house, and then I'll have a little disposable income after that. And I'm thinking about buying just a place in like Knoxville area to where I can just kind of sit on it. And if I ever want to retire and go there, I can. Here's the thing. I've never even been there.
I've
Never even been
to
there.
Tennessee, yeah.
I mean, I've been to Tennessee, but I've never been to Knoxville.
Okay.
I just, from all the research I've done in the picture, like fucking pictures, like that's what an idiot I am. I'm like basing all this stuff. Yeah, go ahead and look it up. I mean, and it's like a small. It's not a huge town. It's like the size of McKinney,
Big enough for me.
which is like 150,000.
Yeah,
upwards of about
192.
Upwards about 200,000. That's like McKinney.
Gosh, I remember when McKinney had nobody.
I know. I remember when my aunt and uncle used to live in McKinney way back in the day, and we would go visit them, and there was like 30,000 people.
Dude, I swear.
It's
There
like
was
10 times
nobody.
that now. Yeah.
And it's exponentially
insane.
grown over the last like 10 or 15
And
years.
it's going to keep getting bigger. You know that Collin County is there's going to be more people in Collin County in a couple of years than Dallas County if they keep it this rate.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And you know what's about to happen to Sherman, specifically Sherman, not just Grayson County. Like they're, from what I've understood, talking to individuals, Sherman is supposed to turn into the next Silicon Valley.
Mm-hmm.
That TI is
I've
supposed
heard
to
the same
bring
thing.
an extra like 2,500 jobs.
Yeah.
That's 2,500 families.
Well, they're making the microchips, aren't they? The ones that couldn't get made in China during the
That's what I've
pandemic or some
understood.
shit. Like
Yeah.
TI was like, "Fuck it, we're making our own microchips, and we're setting up a plant in Sherman, Texas,
Yeah.
with where there's 30,000 people." So their staff.
There's like 50, but yeah.
Well, now,
Yeah.
but at the time, that's
Yeah,
what I'm saying. At
whenever
the
they
time they
develop it.
announced it, it was like
Yeah.
30. And so, like, they're gonna, the amount of people that they employ is gonna be like, fucking
We have so much land in Grayson County, and
5
Sherman
to
and
10%.
Yeah.
It's gonna add, just that one company's gonna add like 5 to 10%.
They
of the
just did a
population.
bond here in Sherman. I don't even live in Sherman, but my kids go to school there. Is why I'm familiar with it. Was basically what they did is they said, "Hey, I know we just built a new high school two years ago, but we've already outgrown it.
Mm-hmm.
Either A, we moved to 6A because they just changed everything,
They'd add a whole new thing.
or B, we build a new high school." And the proposal was, "Hey guys, we're gonna have so many jobs from the new TI build. We build a new high school, your taxes will not raise because the families that are there will pay normal taxes and it will equate for the amount of money that's
Just
going
more
to cost
people,
to
right.
build a new
Right.
high school."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe it.
And I'm like, one, I'm like skeptical hippo eyes say like I believe it when I see it, but a part of me goes, shit, that's a fuck ton of people that are bringing in taxes.
Yeah. No, it really is. I mean, it's
So it's continuing to come north, is what it is. Dallas is bleeding into Grayson County.
Come north. I don't know why my brain just it's constantly on the lookout for
So
like
one thing I gotta say real quick
things out of context.
is I look up Nashville, Tennessee on Google. Just type in Nashville, Tennessee, and go to
Knoxville.
images. Knoxville. You're absolutely right. I typed in Knoxville. I don't know why I'm saying Nashville. Knoxville. And one of the first images that comes up that says Knoxville sucks.
It's the worst city. That can't be true. I mean, it looks pretty. You got the mountains in the background.
I'm sure anybody could spin
kinda-
something to being bad, but still.
It kind of
It's
looks like
funny
a.
that you love it, and this comes in and says the worst city.
It looks like a teeny tiny little Dallas. That looks like the
It's got the ball.
the ball,
Yeah.
the fucking Reunion Tower.
Reunion Tower,
That's it.
yeah.
The locals, we just know it as the tall thing with the ball.
It's Reunion Tower. Come on, we know what it is.
Yeah.
But so Knoxville, I'm gonna have to look it up. Everything I've heard about Tennessee is great. I've heard they don't have a state income tax, which is beneficial.
At the time, I bet cost of living has gone through the roof and real estate has gone through the roof. I'm
I mean,
sure.
just like here, real estate's gone up since the pandemic.
Stupid.
People
So
have
stupid.
been fleeing California and coming to the states that are more cost effective.
Making it no longer cost effective.
Yeah. I'm sure it's still way better than some of the other cities, but
Yeah.
it definitely has caused everything to rise. They're gonna, as they say, if they don't watch out, they're gonna California everything. Gonna California our Texas, California their Tennessee.
Which is why I need a backup place in a different state. I'm not even joking. That's why I made the short list of like Knoxville,
honestly,
Fayetteville.
You know, one of the things that I've
Even fucking northern New Mexico. Gorgeous.
So I've looked into,
Gorgeous.
I've seen this because I was into hunting for a little while, and if you look at public hunting land in the state of Texas, it's very minuscule.
Yeah, most of it's
because
private. Yeah.
Most of it's private.
It's all
that
privately owned.
Utah is like, and I could be wrong with this percentage, so please
Well, look
fact
it
check
up.
me. But I think it's like 85% private, public land.
Really?
Yeah,
So most of it's just like parks and nature preserves and stuff like that?
that's the way that I understand it in Utah.
Maybe put like percentage or something like
Yep, let's do that.
public land in Utah percentage. Approximately 71%
71%.
of Utah consists of Boeing. 71. That's insane.
That's insane. 'Cause
Well-
here it's like 90% is private.
Well, it's mostly flat here too, and like it's so rugged there.
Now, does that
Like
play,
you can't live there, so
but
I
what
guess
I'm
the government's
saying
going
is
to own
that
it.
Texas is, I think we're the highest state with the most
Yeah, we are.
private-owned land
We are.
out of any other state.
That's my understanding. Yeah.
It does help that we are a lot of flat land. We don't have a lot of mountainous areas. But what I'm getting at is there's just a amount of time that it's going to be overran with people, and it's going to turn into, because I mean, individually people are smart,
Mm-hmm.
but when they come to a collective group, they're fucking stupid as shit.
There's got to be like some kind of a formula for that, like to calculate at the point of diminishing
Oh,
returns
yeah.
of like population.
Yeah,
Like once the population gets over a certain point, it starts doing more harm than good.
it does.
Like, there's got to be a formula for
I'm
that.
not saying Utah's the place to be by any means, but
Yeah.
what I'm getting at is that, like, Arkansas doesn't seem that bad. It doesn't seem overpopulated. It seems like there's still small towns that are still relatively great, and they still have great scenery and mountains and stuff. So
There's a
as
lot of
much
empty
as we
space
used
in
to
America,
make fun
man.
of Arkansas might be the place to
I
go.
know. Like, I mean, I might have to start making out with my cousin.
Dude, that's
Just-
the thing. We used to say
I
that
know,
all the
right?
time.
Right? That's when you think of Arkansas, you think about fucking your cousin.
Yeah.
Like,
And I think that's only a Texas thing, but yeah.
and now that I'm older, I'm like, huh. Maybe not the fucking the cousin thing.
Maybe we should have
But
kept it in the
right.
family. It was someone that had land. Shit.
Well, this is fun. I think this is a good point. I'm gonna finish this beer. I think this is
Hey.
a great
Bike rack.
bike rack.
The BWR, they did a great job with beer.
Why do you call it BWR? Why not just call it? Because it's just beer.
It's a fun way to say
Is
beer.
that how they say it?
No, it's just me.
Oh, that's just you.
It's just me being silly.
Oh, okay. You're just being a little silly goof.
I'm just being a little silly goose. It's a classic American lager at 4.8%. It is their version of the
delicious. It does
of-
not taste like Coors Light at all.
a Coors Banquet.
No, it
not
doesn't taste
Coors
like that
Light.
either. It's way better. It's creamy.
I wish I had one.
Creamy. So creamy.
I wish I had a Coors Banquet because it's supposed to be their version of it. A Coors
Give me
Banquet is
some
actually
of that
really
cream,
good.
girl.
But shout out,
Oh.
Bike Rack. I know I didn't talk about the Four Corners. Those guys are great.
No, they're great.
Paps can suck a dick.
Oh, I
Sam-
love PBR.
Same.
That's a true American beer. Samson, stay with me. Drink my beer that tastes like pee.
Get the hell out of here. But everybody needs to go listen to Justin's podcast. It's this Justin.
Plug me. You're plugging me right now.
This Justin.
Plug me hard, baby.
On everywhere you can listen to audio podcasts. This guy's weird and doesn't do video yet, but he'll
That's
get
a
there eventually.
Good plug. Keep
And
going.
then make
I'm
sure
almost there.
to keep following him and plugging him, and then make sure to also follow us on social media as well as Untappd at _dudes and brews. But we're out of here.
Bye.
We appreciate you guys tuning in for another episode of Dudes and Brews. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever platform you're on. We're on there. We have a YouTube channel, Dudes and Brews. We would love if you would subscribe there as well. If you are subscribed and you want to help us out just a little more, unsubscribe and resubscribe again. It sounds funny and stupid and kind of obnoxious, all of the subscribing and resubscribing and stuff, but it helps in these little algorithms games for like climbing the charts, because again, we are organic and we are where we are because of you guys.
Yeah, we really do appreciate your support. Shout us out. We really do love it when you guys interact with us, when you add us, mention us, put us on your stories, tag us, all that fun stuff, all the stuff the kids are doing. We like grabbing that stuff and we put it up for you guys. So we appreciate you so much. Keep having fun, drinking them brews, hanging with them dudes. Tune in next week for another episode of Dudes and Brews.